big rule change coming up in 2026. We have those new regulations. How do you look ahead to them now as you'll be in green?
I've always had a huge amount of respect for Fernando and for Lewis. It wasn't possible to work with both of them, different teams, so I had to choose one. But Fernando, I mean, I think he's just a mightily impressive driver and individual. And he's, like me, he's been in the sport for a long time now, but he still remains fully motivated, and he's just such a character. It takes time, it takes commitment. So enjoy ourselves so that when the 2nd of March comes. Well, I haven't worked with Fernando yet, so I don't know. I can imagine it is. I think what I have noticed over the years is that the true greats, of which Fernando is undoubtedly one, one thing they all tend to have in common is a lot of mental reserve. And by that I mean that when they're driving the car, it feels like they're only using kind of 10% of their brain to drive the car, and the rest is going into thinking about what the car's doing, what they need to do to change their driving style, to change the settings in the car, etc. How the race is developing, where their rivals are, when to push on the tyres, when to ease up on the tyres, all those things. They have that huge reserve, and that also typically makes them very good at describing what the car's doing. Yes, it is, for sure. I do have a huge amount of respect for Lewis and what he's achieved, and the way he's conducted himself. I think the way people conduct themselves is such an important thing as well. So yes, I would have loved to work for Lewis, or worked with Lewis rather, and I believe he feels the same way. I have been in fairly regular contact with him. But unfortunately it wasn't to be.
He was on a bike and I was on a treadmill behind him.
Lawrence,
trying to catch up to him.
Well, you've got him now. Look,
The best, it's not an investment, he's a shareholder and a partner.
No, I mean, I think I've used to live in the States in my IndyCar career, so changing countries kind of not really a big factor. Obviously, Italy compared to America, you've got to attempt to learn a language to an extent, but all the foreign teams now, their meetings are in English anyway. I think in that sense it could have been an adventure, but it just didn't quite pan out. Lawrence's enthusiasm and passion were very persuasive. Seriously, I think I felt as if I needed a new challenge, simply to be a designer. I don't think worth. Well, I don't think I've ever said I thought that was feasible. What I can say is, if you look at the facilities here, then the facilities are absolutely top class. So that in that sense, we, Aston Martin, have everything that's needed to win World Championships. So if you like, the ingredients of the cake are there, but there's another thing baking that cake perfectly. Whether we can achieve that or not in the future, I've got absolutely no idea. I'm very flattered by a number of teams that did approach me.
This is clearly the most important thing that ever happened in the team's history. Getting Adrian to join as a shareholder and technical managing partner is a complete game changer, transformation for the company. To have such a strong leader with the most incredible track record in Formula One.
The aerodynamic regulations will be announced 1st or 2nd of January. So I will be...
Many teams had approached Adrian, most of the grid had approached Adrian. Adrian and I have been talking for about 3 years now, on and off, when he announced in April that he was officially leaving Red Bull. Those talks enhanced greatly, and I was quite convinced that Adrian would want to come here.